Metals and mining stocks have also lost their luster on deflationary pressures in China as consumer prices have slowed. We've seen base metal prices decline in the last few weeks. Copper prices down 12% from their January high. Gold has ticked up as the debt ceiling drama heats up here in the U.S. But Will, I mean, you run several big commodity ETFs like Granite Shares Gold Trust, that's ticker BAR. Give us your take on precious metals right now.
Well, really, the story is all about gold, and it has been this year because gold is the only major metal to remain in the green, firmly green for this year. And so we saw prices flirt with an all-time high, and that's largely due with the debt ceiling because those will remember, back in 2011 when we had a previous issue with the debt ceiling and ultimately ended in the downgrade of the U.S. sovereign debt for the first time. We saw gold rocket to then a high. People looking for a hedge against that kind of event in this particular market. We know that we've seen the yields obviously come down, the short-term, appreciate in short-term treasuries, but I think gold is really serving its purpose at the moment as a way for people to park money in a non-correlated asset as they worry about what might happen and certainly hedge themselves against the probability of something falling out of bed with the debt ceiling.
Todd, it's interesting because commodity ETFs are still a popular trade despite this sort of uncertain global backdrop. So where are you seeing the most inflows right now?
So we at VettaFi have an Explorer tool which looks at where the engagement that advisors are strongest. And we're seeing actually strong demand for commodity ETFs. It actually saw a pop in the last couple of weeks towards commodity ETFs. Will talked about precious metals and ETFs like GLD from State Street and GLDM, which is a lower cost version of the GLD product, have seen relatively strong inflows this year. We're also finding advisors are interested in active management within the commodities space. So Will has a product that's there that offers that. Neuberger Berman has an ETF, the Neuberger Berman Commodity Strategy ETF, NBCM, is another way of getting a diversified exposure to commodities. So gold may not continue to be in favor forever in 2023, and so investors might want the benefits of active management to rotate, and NBCM is one of those examples ETFs.
Interesting idea. Brendan, on another note, the G7 summit wrapping up this weekend. What's the investor takeaway?
Been positive, Seema, that one of the major headwinds for investors in the China space has been the U.S.-China political relationship. And President Biden noted that he expects the U.S.-China relationship to improve very soon. I mean, just this week, China's Ministry of Commerce will actually visit Washington, D.C., meet with U.S. Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo. This is the first significant meeting on U.S. soil from a Chinese diplomat in probably about 5 years. So you think about, just as relationships, you had COVID babies because of being stuck at home. You also had COVID divorces. And I think the U.S.-China relationship really did suffer by the lack of travel from senior diplomats between the two countries. And we're taking a small step this week to improving that relationship, which hopefully just improves further.